74% of all PG&E customers impacted by the shutoffs in California are getting their power back. Here's a look at where things stand right now. All East and South Bay counties now have restoration rates above 80%, the most progress in Contra Costa and Santa Clara counties. Now, in the North Bay, where we saw the most outages, restoration a little bit slower, but each county is now above 75%. KPIX5's Wilson Walker been following line crews all day. Joins us live from Kenwood in Sonoma County. Wilson?
Yeah, Alan, right behind me, when you get to the highway, the power is on. The stoplights are working. If you come over here or head to the west just a little bit, power is still off for a lot of people. The crews are making their way this direction, and we actually had a chance to catch up with a couple of them and talk about their job today.
Yeah, every bit of it has to be eyeballed. We have to have eyes on it. Storm damage, make sure there's no limbs, nothing, no wire down.
Among the thousands of people trying to get your power back on today, Brian and Gordon, contractors from Washington State assigned to this corner of Sonoma County. It is a slow and often grueling job.
There's a lot of protocols we have to follow. It's time consuming, but we work as fast as we can to get the people's lights back on.
Their task is to get their eyes on every single inch of their assigned line, no matter where it goes. And out here, that can present some challenges.
Oh, that probably a good mile and a half.
You're just gonna have to walk.
Yep, walk through brush and trees.
You allergic to poison oak?
Nope.
Here we were out for 2 days here. Had to throw a lot of stuff out.
Just a few miles away, the power was back on in time for the lunch rush at Lazzini's Market. Owner Mark Lazzini was still frustrated.
It's hard to plan anything because we didn't know when stuff's going to go on, you know. Go online, you couldn't find anything. Call the number couldn't get through.
We have no water.
Mid-afternoon, Patty Rossi was still waiting for her power, making do with a generator and a plastic kiddie pool.
For the laundry and flushing the toilets.
So this is how the event winds down, a little more waiting for some and a lot of work for those line crews.
That's just what we've done so far.
And this just one corner of an outage that affected so much of California.
It's big, yeah, it's pretty big.
Talk to those gentlemen about what kind of reception they have received out here. As you can see, having to go on people's private property, kind of knocking on doors and walking through gates. They said this has been sort of a tough one. They've had a couple people bark at them. Somebody threatened to sick their dogs on him. I said, what's it normally like when you're doing this, maybe in the wake of a fire or an actual disaster? They said people are normally really outgoing. Thank you for coming here. Thanks for helping us out. And now they're getting a lot of grief, and they say they're sympathetic to that, having not had a disaster. This all sort of by design. So a lot of work out here, still a lot of frustration, and still a handful of folks that are waiting for the lights to come on. My impression is that if you're out here and you're waiting, it's probably not too far away, so hang in there. We are live in Kenwood. Wilson Walker, KPIX5.
Despite being in the dark, one Lafayette elementary school held classes as some parents pleaded with PG&E to get the power back on.
Please, PG&E! Sleepy Hollow, Lombardy Lane. That's just one little click. That's all we need.
It's awful that they are at home without anything to do, and it's crazy.
School officials at Happy Valley Elementary say that they worked by flashlight today before the sun came up to make sure everything was ready for the first bell.
They could do it, 100 years ago with no power. I think our kids are going to be fine today.
PG&E says power is almost fully restored in Lafayette, and only about 16 customers are still pending.